So, welcome back to Industry Insights podcast. We are in 2026 and I am with Abhay Avadani. Hi, Abhay.
Hello, Ramu.
And what we're going to look at is the gig economy in India, which is no longer a fringe phenomena. It's been in the news and quite literally the engine of urban life. The team at Watt Packaging has been tracking this sector and which is projected to include about 2.35 crore workers by the end of the decade. What say you, Abhay?
I would like to call them 2.35 crore packaging soldiers
Arre wah.
because they handle and deliver the best of packaging.
True. And the sheer scale is staggering, which is why the latest analysis calls 2026 a pivotal turning point. So, Abhay, what makes
Yes.
this year so critical for what is often termed the permanently temporary workforce?
Ramu, the scale is unprecedented. So now we are talking about a sector that needed an estimated 20 lakh additional gig workers this year alone just to meet the demand.
Hmm.
The festive season spikes a 25% rise in temporary jobs in 2025 as compared to 2024.
Mhm.
So this shows us how dependent the Indian packaging economy is on this buffer class.
Absolutely. And then, in addition, there's the packaging charges, there's the GST on packaging charges, and everything appears to be interlinked,
Oh,
right?
yes, yes. So if you recall, Shri Krishnan J of Flipkart, he
Hmm.
touched upon the aspect of cube utilization.
Correct. This was at the PackNext
Yes,
recently, right?
yes, yes. So he said Flipkart uses machine learning models to determine different sizes of boxes to be used for all of its multiple SKUs.
Hmm.
Yes, so through the machine learning models, the company could come up with 40 different sizes of box to be used in packaging.
40 types, huh?
Yes, 40 types.
Hmm.
So Flipkart follows a circular system where the scrap generated is being sent back to the producer.
Interesting. That's a good scheme, right? And Flipkart, if I'm not mistaken, has also got that target, no, for EVs and all that
Yes.
by 2030.
Yes.
Anyway, in the analysis about e-commerce, especially e-commerce packaging,
Yeah.
which highlights the complex challenges faced by quick commerce, what do you have to say about that?
So the key issues include
Hmm.
accurate prediction due to products traveling across the country, managing reverse product flow, and again the need for robustness to handle the supply chain faster than offline logistics.
Okay.
Yeah. So despite the scale, the industry must rationalize packaging.
So when you say rationalized packaging types, you mean an industry which is aiming for 60 to 70 types of variations.
Yes, yes. So how to rationalize while maintaining product integrity?
Okay. So product integrity is one box ticked. What about customer experience?
So in terms of customer experience, there is an increasing focus on frustration-free packaging.
Frustration free. Ah,
Yeah,
right.
so this means it should be easy to unpack yet secure and tamper proof.
Okay. And then what about the S word, sustainability?
Oh, yes. So efforts for sustainability, these involve reducing secondary and tertiary packaging and replacing plastic with paper and again utilizing returnable boxes.
As you just mentioned with the Flipkart example.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Okay.
So
Okay.
these have reduced the single-use plastic
Hmm.
packaging.
Significant?
Yes,
Okay.
significant amount
Okay.
of reduction.
But why does Amazon, this is just a sort of irrelevant sort of question, but why does Amazon sometimes ship tiny items in these enormous Amazonian boxes? Anyway, Abhay, to return to our main topic,
Yeah.
the turning point, however, especially for the delivery boys, is going to be legislative, right?
Yes, exactly. But now the pressure is no longer just on the aggregators.
Okay.
It's now on the government to formalize and regulate this logistics casino.
And on that point, the government did step in, right, with the code on social security in 2020, or,
Yes.
especially during COVID. And I remember that quite clearly.
Yes.
So my question to you is, what is the substance of this legislative shield and what does it demand from the multi-billion-dollar apps?
So the code is a landmark step for recognition.
Okay.
So some of the key provisions have a mandate that aggregators platforms such as Zomato or Swiggy, these must contribute between 1% and 2% of their annual turnover into a dedicated social security fund for these workers.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, after this, the registration on the eShram portal, this provides a universal account number, making benefits like accident insurance and health and maternity benefits portable across different platforms for these workers.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is in general an attempt to ensure that dignity moves from parliamentary draft to street reality.
But that's the key, isn't it? Ultimately, the street reality. Anyway, so the company CEOs naturally have pushed back, especially what we saw in November and December of 2025.
G.
And often they do this with, data. The Zomato CEO, Dipinder Goyal,
Hmm.
defended the model. And I mean, he's been sort of fairly active and vocal on the social media platform,
Hmm.
citing a rise in average earnings per hour from around 102 in 2025. So does this, according to you, sound like progress and deliverability on all those things that you've been talking about?
Yes, it does, but that data is immediately countered by the veterans on the ground.
Okay.
So my colleague Prabhat Prakash,
Okay.
he spoke to the riders such as Sachin,
Okay.
who's been with Swiggy since 2017.
Okay.
So he described a steady demotion in earnings
Hmm.
from rupees 35 to 40 per delivery a few years ago to just rupees 25 now.
Hmm.
With which, again, rising petrol costs, this means that his net income has decreased.
Yeah, overall inflation,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah. Hmm. So corporate data on average earning often clashes with the reality of this so-called incentive system,
Exactly,
right?
yes.
Hmm.
So another veteran, Suresh
Okay.
Kumar Savita,
Okay.
he claims that he has to work 17 to 18 hours to meet the daily targets required to unlock those incentives.
Hmm.
So these targets, the algorithm often makes unreachable by outsourcing orders to third party riders.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So the algorithm promise of flexibility is usually a mathematical trap, right?
Yes.
And what, a 14-hour exhaustion. Hmm.
Yes.
But now there's a new hurdle to access the very social security they fought for, minimum engagement threshold.
Hmm.
So again, this 90-day eligibility gap. Do you have any details about that, Abhay?
So this is the latest flashpoint. So the draft rules propose that a gig worker must be engaged with an aggregator for at least 90 days in a financial year to qualify for central social security schemes.
Okay.
If they work for multiple platforms, that threshold rises to 120 days.
Hmm.
While the government frames this as a way to formalize and track dedicated workers,
Hmm.
labor advocates argue that it ignores the reality of India's internal migrant labor.
Hmm.
So the workers who come to cities for only 40 to 60 days during peak demand seasons.
Okay.
So it affects them.
Right. So I think in broadly, there was this again notice put out by the Telangana Gig and Platform Workers Union, and it sort of more or less seems to allude to what you're saying, that the letters from Swiggy and Zomato are concerning. That a peaceful boycott by delivery workers is being framed as a law and order problem, with
Yeah.
police action used as an implicit threat, and that protest is not a crime. Anyway, all this is worrisome simply because of the overall impact and effect it's going to have on this entire sort of system, right?
Very true, very true. So for these workers, the legislative shield is put just out of reach.
Okay. So, in your view, Abhay, what is the core conflict playing out in the streets, especially Mumbai, Delhi, right now? And we saw some of the ripple effect during the festive season, closing of December.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it truly a sort of rebellion against injustice, or is it strategic? Or as the strategic analyst Prem Soni, he's been again talking about this.
Yeah.
Correct in saying it's a rebellion against maths.
Yeah, I would say it's a conflict where human need is pitted against the algorithmic logic.
Mm.
Yeah, the system doesn't care if a rider is tired or has had an accident. So, as was the chilling case of Rizwan's brother,
Aftab, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Mm.
So, who was still asked about his delivery status while being injured.
Correct. That was ridiculous. So the algorithm only cares about unit economics and whether the market clears. Correct.
Yeah. So, Sony's point is partially correct. The math is ruthless. But for policymakers and aggregators, the trillion rupee question for 2026 is that whether they will continue to let the house win at the cost of human dignity, or if they will finally regulate this logistics casino to ensure a fair seat at the table for everyone.
Correct. And also ensure that every box gets delivered to
Of
every
course.
address, right?
Yeah.
So critical question in a way, right?
Yeah,
For
yeah.
India's future. I mean, we've been in a way riding this storm for these past few years. So Abhay, thank you for sharing your insight. Any final additional gyan for us?
So one interesting takeaway that I have is, which I read on X.
Okay, Twitter.
Yes, is that Zomato started as a food menu finder,
Okay.
and Swiggy was a courier service called Bundle.
Really? Okay.
Yes, while Zepto was a WhatsApp group for Kirana delivery.
Really? So none of them started as Q-commerce giants.
Yes, exactly,
Oh, okay.
exactly. So they became that. So they became that after many pivots and small and major. Yeah. So the point is that you don't start with $1 trillion ideas. You start
True.
with small, visible problems and solve them badly.
Right. And we need to resolve this problem also.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of
So
course.
any final thoughts, Abhay?
Well, I think one of the things we can do more efficiently is pack products better. I
Yes.
would say.
Meaning in what way?
So be a bit more creative with packing.
Mm.
Be a bit more innovative with the product packaging.
Mm.
A system which ensures products can be neatly and attractively arranged items while even in standing up or lying flat in the case.
Mm.
A flexible design which can accommodate a variety of products and layouts while changing packaging styles.
Mm.
Yeah. So also how to get the products into cases,
Makes a lot of sense.
like
So,
the Flipkart example of cube utilization. That's
that
a
kind
very
of
good
thing. That's a
example.
good, yeah. And
Yeah.
much more of that can be done.
Yes.
So, quick takeaway, be creative with packing and be a bit more humane with the delivery
True.
boys. Yeah.
True. Yep.
So, Amaze. That was Abhay Avadhani
Yes. Thank you
with
so
me,
much.
Ramu Ramanathan. And with that, we conclude this episode of Industry Insights brought to you by
What
Packaging.
packaging?